All right, welcome everybody to another OkieTrade study session. So today looks like we still have low floats, but I guess I got caught off guard by the fact I was just looking at low priced ones. But I guess some days it'll be low priced, and then some days it'll be higher priced, with the main factor that it's low float and ideally, pretty good volume. But what I want to take you through is kind of how what I'm seeing. Normally, I wouldn't buy stocks so deep under VWAP, but if you see a stock with high volume and you see it work, well, obviously you need to look at it. Like, did it set up clean? So if we look at it, we got these like this little wedge here right off the bottom. And does it come with volume wash? And well, I guess we could say, mm, not really. Not really volume wash on there. So, but I mean, that is a nice one. I guess we could say we could notice that and then look for one with volume wash. Does this one have it? Yeah. See where you got a volume wedge and then they break at the same time. That's like the confirmation of that's a good entry. Okay. So, we do have this longer one too if you look at it like that. And I guess you could look at it like that. Yeah, I think that looks cleaner. Okay. So that's probably the cleanest look for sure. Or maybe this one. Yeah, that's it right there. Okay. Yeah. All right. So there is a volume wash, and it's not you might watch a wedge and you just pass on it without the volume wash. I mean, you could say that's one, but I really don't like it that much. But this longer term one right there, that's clean. And then we get a nice strong spike off of it. Doesn't even test your entry. So that also tells me that's a really good entry. And then we get volume confirmation, strong volume, 1 million per 1 minute candle. And we set up a nice falling wedge right there with volume wash and another big volume confirmation. And now we've got 3 million per 1 minute candle. And you see it just takes off from there into a halt where it basically just stuffs at high a day. So, maybe you could buy some right here and then sell a good chunk here and then add that what you sold back here, moving up your stop to right here, and then with a target of maybe, I don't know, depends on how it acts at VWAP. I wouldn't say just VWAP. Like if it spikes straight through and then starts to stall, maybe I would sell some right there. Yeah. And then it kind of holds. And then once it broke this high right here, I'd probably move up my stop. But then obviously it just takes off to high a day. But that's probably how I would do that. So that was a nice trade if you could get like, an entry, sell some, add, or maybe entry, sell all, get all back in, all out, miss the whole big move. Hard to say. Like, if you get all out, sometimes you'll miss the big move. But right now, I do think scalping and maybe getting all in and all out versus working around the core is the way to go. So just depends how your personality, like, can you handle not selling all and then because it could have just gone back down and then you only sell like half, instead of the whole thing. So there is that. And then we also have this wedge, right? And look how it lines up together. Volume wedge. So there's another good entry under VWAP. Spikes up to VWAP. Maybe you sell it all right there, right? But then does it set back up? Pretty much. Whoops. Right? Got a line that lines up. So, maybe you buy it again right here, and then once it spikes up and starts to have problems, you just sell it. That's what I'm saying about these scalps. You can get multiple good entries. Like down here was a really solid one, and then since you're already a winner, well, adding right here, or not adding, but making a second trade right here, that might be the way to go. Then there's a couple more little entries, like this. Maybe you would have tried to sneak a little entry down here instead of just buying it up right here. So maybe you buy it right here, noticing that it's going to set up for something like this. And then when it looks like it's weak right here, you don't add. And then it starts to pull back, and then you just cut it for a small winner right here. And you don't worry, because then it resets up, right? You got a line and another one. So now you can draw the lines, and that leads you to your entry. It tells you somewhere around here. And then when it breaks, does it break? Look, it just barely breaks, but it does. So you do have to hold. And then notice the best entry. Like, it barely spikes, so I would say no. But once it's spiked up here, if it pulled, cut. If it goes under your break even. But once it kept up going real high through high day and starts to pull back, just sell it at 5, I would say. Like, if it breaks through 5, spikes up to like 510, which is at high, 5's at high day, 495, whole number of 5, pulls back through it, can't hold, I would usually definitely sell. But especially right now, I'm in full scout mode. Like, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 potential scalp trades on this one specific stock. So I think that's what the market's telling us right now. And then we also had Kit, and I wanted to bring that one up. And I can't look at stock to trade daily chart because it's not working right. But we can look at this here. So I'll zoom in. You can see it's a multi-day breakout there over 22, with a multi-week breakout with that 2-4, I think, area. And as you can see, it went to like 26. So I marked the lines right here, 217 and 24, yeah, 24 area. So normally I would buy the first high day on a multi-day breakout, but this one opened up way too far away, so I needed to prove me wrong, or it needs to be an all-day hold, late day, high day setup. And so the early entry failed like it should, and then it set up for high day. So this would be the main entry I'd be looking at, with probably risk right here, the last best dip. And then if I'm noticing that and I'm potentially about to buy it up here, I could also see that there's a wedge, because it is low float, volume wedge. Hard to see because we're seeing the whole scene right now, but potential earlier entry right here, tighter risk, potential add. I probably wouldn't add up here if I got long right here. If I missed it here, I definitely could buy right here. But then once it holds, I could see myself adding back right here, like I was in right here, with a new stop right here. And then it holds, spikes up, potential for another add right there on that fallen wedge. Strong volume. And the reason why it's so strong, again, these multi-day breakout levels, everybody knows any good like entries close to those levels are going to make it work, because these are like magnets. It's pulling it towards that multi-day breakout level. So that's why I really love these stocks. This is specifically my favorite pattern is multi-day breakouts. And then, of course, I also like wedges a lot. And then when you combine wedges with the multi-day breakouts, that's the best setup. So I actually did take some good trades on this. I was more focused personally. This is more of a more advanced move. I was looking at its past history days. I'm not going to go back to them, but if you decide to research this stock and you go look back at its last recent run days, it likes to, when it gets to high day, kind of fake out, and then the next move it'll have a hard pull towards VWAP, get really close, and then you can buy that dip, and then as it breaks up high day, sell it, and then kind of wait for the same thing to happen. And that's kind of what I did. I just let it fail at high day, and then when it pulled back to VWAP, I bought it, and then when it went back up through high day, sell it, and just repeated the process over and over. And once it never would pull back to VWAP anymore, I just quit trading it. And then I probably could have took some wedges up here at the breakout level. Actually, I think I did take one little one. Yeah, I took this one right here. Took it right here at 22 and sold it at 26, I think. Yeah. But I think I only had like 2,000 shares, so it wasn't anything crazy. So that's why I held it longer. I wanted to see, because the way it was respecting the levels, yeah, that was a good little trade right there. But I had such small size that I almost forgot about it. But notice how it had a nice little wedge at the multi-day breakout level. And, it's just kind of like stair stepping with wedges. So, it was just a really, really great trade. So hopefully we see more of this tomorrow. If we get more of this, then I'll definitely be taking a little bit more size and just scalping out and taking these little wedges and little dips. Maybe not so much the dips, definitely not the dips, but these wedges for sure. Um, it's pretty easy. I don't know. Just scalp out. Like once it stops going higher, just take the win and then hope it resets up. And they pretty much do like 3 or 4 times. So, all right, everybody. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Take it easy.